I was checking out his most recent episode called The Breakthrough. And why don't I start there? Because Chris has a breakthrough.
What?
He's always discovering himself and figuring things out on his show. He's not a big fan of therapy. I've seen him in interviews say he doesn't like that. So he's just like, well, instead of doing that, I'll just pretend I've discovered things about myself on my show. And then that'll make it okay, I'm sure. So this is him listing all the things that he likes in life.
Here's the thing, dude. I don't like anything. And that's so sad. I started thinking about what if there's something deeply... I take that back. I like things, obviously. I'm joking. I like a few things. I like my family, and I like being on stage, and I think I've tricked myself into liking working out. So... Oh, and I really like watching movies at night and eating, ice cream or something.
What's so annoying about Chris D'Elia is that he's constantly lying to us, and we all know the truth. Chris, you like sex with teenagers.
Yeah.
That's the thing that you really get excited about. Problem is, you fucked up. You fucked up, so it's really hard to pull it off now because everyone knows about it, and it's very creepy behavior. But now he pretends he's like, I'm just like a normal guy who loves his family.
Yeah.
Just like sitting on the
Eating
couch.
ice cream.
Eating some ice cream.
He got the sex taken away, and he's like, I guess movies and ice cream.
Yeah, he describes himself like a woman would. Now that he can't plow fans on the road all the time. Although, who knows if he stopped doing that. That would be a crazy thing
I don't
to
know.
assume.
Ice cream is pretty enticing to teenage girls, right?
Yes, they do like ice cream. That's a good point.
He drives an ice cream truck.
That sign next to him should say, "Life rips the underwear off a 17-year-old."
So, and we don't know if she was 17. There's been a lot of allegations. We'll get into all of that. There are receipts, too. I mean, there's voicemails and text messages and what. Okay. Before that, though, let's get to his fake breakthrough. Remember, the name of this episode is The Breakthrough. So he's thinking about, gosh, I just don't find joy in things. There's only so many things that I like.
I'm like, he would want to go to Stagecoach so bad. And a guy like that would go so bad. And I'm going to try and feel the excitement for it because it's a shame that I don't have that. It's a shame. It sucks. I wish I had more things. There it is. There it is. It's been 376 episodes, and there's the breakthrough, dude. There it is. I wish I had more things to be excited about. Fuck! But I don't. I have 4 things, and I do them all the time. I do stand-up. I joke around. I love my family. And I watch TV late at night. That's what I do, dude.
Notice how he stares up at the ceiling? That's such a weird lie tell that I've been picking up on recently.
Oh, you've been watching Stuttering John?
Yeah, all of these podcasters, when they start lying, they start looking for
Answers.
the answers. What else could I possibly like? Is it, I don't know, like virgins who are into bad comedy? I don't know. What else?
Well, it's funny watching him argue with himself because it's usually him bickering with his brother or those other douchebags.
Right,
on Golden
yeah.
Hour or
Right.
whatever. So he has to be even more performative, which is bad for us because he's
Correct.
Chris D'Elia.
Correct. In
I
fact,
liked 5 things, but I can't do that 5th one
yeah,
anymore.
and the one thing I liked way more than the other 4. Way more. I was willing to sacrifice the other 4 for it. That's how much I liked the one thing. And now I just have these 4 things.
Yeah, fucking family.
So since you brought that up, producer Chris, I want to play you this clip. He ran into a fan out in public somewhere, and the fan was, hey, nice to meet you or whatever. And listen to Chris admit that he's putting out an act on these shows.
Like, hey, I just want to say I'm a big fan. I've been a big fan for you for a long time, and I think you're great and this and that. And I was like, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's very sweet of you. And then she walked away, and I was like, I wonder. I'm so different when I on this podcast than when I am in like out in the world with people. Obviously, when I'm in joke mode or podcast mode or whatever, I'm spouting off my opinions about shit. Yeah, I get it, but I'm a nice person. People think I don't know. Probably people think I'm not because I'm like a dick on this podcast. But like she walked away. I was like, I wonder if people think that's weird when I'm nice to them. I don't know. I'm just thinking about it too much, bro. I spiral.
What a crazy thing to think. I wonder if I was being too nice and they're going to report back to their friends that I was too nice of a guy. Maybe I should have been making wacky voices and doing crazy stuff. And so then this is just a guy who needs a lot of help.
Yay. I spiral. I spiral. I spiral. I really do spiral. I spiral a lot. So
I hate to say it, I'm a broken record, but what a narcissist this fucking guy is. Are you kidding me?
Well, he sounds like the broken record.
Yes.
I spiral.
Oh, he can't stop himself from being annoying, as we all know. And this is just a perfect example of that.
That's why I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker.
And I'm just like, whoa, bro. Whoa. All right. I like that. Because she wasn't betraying him, but she's like, I get it. But see if we can just get it for just us.
I ain't got no motherfucker.
And I'm just like,
you fat motherfucker.
wow, I didn't know you had that streak in ya.
Fucking Opie.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
It's very much an Opie thing. Like, I have nothing to say.
Yeah.
So I'll just be like, whoa!
Right. I'm by myself.
I'll
no
just
one to
make
react
noises.
with. Yeah. And this guy's sober. I got to point it out again.
He doesn't seem sober.
He does not.
He does not. He's got some weird addiction. Oh, that's right. Sex. That's right. Now I remember what his thing is. So I know I'm hogging all the clips. I'll let you guys take it in just a second. But you notice that when he had his epiphany, he goes, oh, I wish I could get excited about Stagecoach. So what happened is he's out with his wife and her friends. And by the way, it's amazing, dude. My wife's friends, dude. Bro, dude. Her friends, they're great. It's unbelievable. You can't believe it. He's so safe on this fucking show, the shit he says. And here's another example coming
He
up.
has to be now.
Yes. Well, no, I know. But he also, I think that he knows that all of his friends and family are watching every move.
Yeah.
So everything he says, yeah, I think so. Everything he says, he's like trying to cover up his tracks and stuff. So he talks about his wife wants to go see Stagecoach. He's friends.
What is that exactly?
Okay, so it's like Coachella for country.
Okay.
And so there's this 3-day country festival that's going on, and Chris is friends with one of the country artists on the show. So he texts the guy to get tickets because he explains in this clip that he recently saw Adam Ray was at the No Doubt concert at Coachella, and he was filming it from the crowd. And Chris is like, oh, I'm not doing that. I got to be like backstage or something if I'm going to go to a show. I can't just be in the audience with the normies or whatever.
A douche.
Yeah, and so this is him describing that.
a No Doubt concert in Coachella. Now, simply blow my brains out, right? Simply. They were just, and No Doubt music, I like No Doubt music, right? And I'm not even talking about like, you know, the I can't even think of it. The only thing of it is Bananas song. That's it. Anyway, Adam looked like he was having a good time with his friends, and that's cool. But I'm just like, I don't know, man. So I'm like, I can't be doing that, right?
So I love the fact that he doesn't want to offend Gwen Stefani. Like, oh, I like No Doubt, bro. You can't name spider webs or I'm just a girl or any of their fucking stuff. And Chris, you shouldn't like No Doubt. Nobody likes No Doubt. It's okay. You just be like, he was at a No Doubt concert. I saw footage of it. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing there? I would have thought the same thing if my friend was there.
You might tap your foot if you're at a bar and it's on the jukebox.
And
that's No Doubt for you.
That's No Doubt. You're like, oh, it's familiar.
And
I heard the song.
He could just say he likes No Doubt music and leave it there, but he has to try.
He tries to figure a song
And
out.
fail
to
miserably.
Gwen Stefani. Anyway.
Well, is it he can't go to a concert with friends because he doesn't have friends?
No,
Or
his
because
wife
it's not
has
his-
friends.
his
His wife's friends want to go.
It's
so
not on his list of his
fine.
4 things that he does, hanging out with his friends.
You know, nephews are friends.
That's true. Yeah, we've learned that recently. So I just thought it was funny. And I probably brought this up on the show before, but recently on the Drew Lane podcast, they were watching footage of No Doubt at Coachella. And they're such a bad band live. They're so terrible. And Gwen Stefani's trying to do this thing. She's like, I'm just a girl. And then get the call and response thing. She's like, just the guys. I'm just a girl. It's like, we're supposed to yell, I'm just a girl? What the fuck is going on here? Don't drag this shitty song out forever. Move on. Boo. If your set's 30 minutes, it's 30 minutes. It's fine. You don't have to fucking drag out one song forever with that shit. All right. Enough about No Doubt. Let's get back to Chris D'Elia. There's more important things to talk about today. Andy, you want to take it over from here?
Sure. Well, speaking of his reaction in the last one, where he's just like, "Whoa, I'm blown away by rap music."
Yeah, I know.
Okay, well, this is going to be him reacting to a tweet, because I looked at his appearance on No Jumper.
Great.
Instead of just doing more and more of this horse shit.
Nice.
So
this is Adam 22, right? The host of No Jumper.
correct. And Adam is beefing with Sean Evans, who's the host of Hot Ones.
Yep.
And Chris feels caught in the middle because he was a guest on Hot Ones at some point. We'll get to that in a minute. So he feels a certain type of way when
Why would that matter?
Adam brings that up in clip one.
Okay.
You know Sean Evans?
Oh, I was going to ask you about this, bro.
It wasn't him. He's not the one who took the cum to his face.
I know, but I see this online. I follow you.
You're like, this is the guy that I'm doing a podcast with next week?
I'm well aware of you, dude. I mean, we've talked in the past and all that shit, and I've also done Hot Ones. So I see this thing yesterday. I think that you tweet. Her pussy's fire.
Congrats, Sean. Yeah. Her pussy is fire emoji.
Okay, so I look at this, and I've seen a lot of shit. I go, whoa.
The hot take right there.
Am I in the Matrix? 2 different guys fucked a porn star? You don't say. Hot take.
Good stuff.
But Chris is still fascinated by this. He just has to get to the bottom of what
Chris has to be so jealous of Adam. Yeah, if you don't know, Adam's a professional podcaster. One of his shows that he does, they interview a porn actress, and then him and his wife fuck her afterwards. And so that's got to be a fun job.
Yeah.
That's one that Chris D'Elia, instead of starting a family, should have thought about. I don't know, just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Do they have a beef, or is this all WWE? Then today I see you post a thing on Instagram about him, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna ask him about this.
Right.
I'm so glad you brought it up, because we were.
Yeah, he brought it up. You didn't ask him about it. The whole interview probably would have went by, and you never would have brought it up if he hadn't brought it up. But now it's all Chris's idea.
I just have to ask you, Andy, because you watched this. I didn't. The Baloney Factory wants to know if Adam 22 fucked Chris after this interview.
Yeah, totally. 100%.
Okay,
It's a valid question.
Baloney Factory. We appreciate it.
And now Chris is going to tell Sean Evans and the rest of Hollywood, he's going to tell everybody how to Hollywood.
Oh, okay.
Because Chris Evans doesn't know, or Sean Evans, I'm sorry, not Chris Evans. Captain America.
Yeah.
But Chris has it all figured out in clip 3.
Yeah. Good position to be in. As soon as you start dating a porn star,
It's too stressful, though.
The waters get a little muddy.
It's too stressful. You gotta like if I think the best like the ultimate version of that is like The Rock. You look at The Rock.
Right.
If he says I'm going to vote for this president, half of the people are like, well, I'm not with The Rock anymore. Like that's my nightmare. To like I have podcasts. I go out. I do my thing. I do stand up. I talk about shit. Like it's my nightmare to be seen as somebody who is not opinionated.
What?
Yeah, that's his biggest nightmare, is to be liked by most people.
What the fuck's he talking about? I didn't see where that was going at all.
No, that was completely unpredictable.
He just said the opposite at the end there.
Well, congratulations, because most people don't like you, so
Yeah,
you don't have to worry about that.
Oh, I don't care who you vote for president. I just think you're a bad guy. I think you're a bad guy based on the testimony of young women that you took advantage of. So I don't even really care who you're voting for there. What a weird way to take that conversation.
No, he's such a fucking idiot. All right, I got one more from No Jumper.
Yeah, that's it.
And Chris is going to tell a story that's both a humble brag and an alibi.
There was all I remember was there was this one woman where I was like we were hooking up and totally cool. She was really sweet and she went to we got naked and she was like. And I was like, you want to have sex? And she was like,
let me just grab my binky. I'm not comfortable without it.
I said it was a woman, right?
Is that the blanket that I brought, or is that?
No. And I was like, okay, then that's all good. And she was like, yeah, well, I'm like intimidated. It was like an open conversation. I was like, okay, well then we won't do it. And then she was like, afterwards, she was like, I didn't do it because like I think it was.
I think it was big, and I was like, I don't know, and I was like, and I laughed, and I was like, are you? You don't. I was like, you don't have to do that. Like, say, like, hey, I didn't have sex with you because your penis is too big. Like, it's hilarious. And she was like, she was trying to sell it. I still think she was lying. I think she just didn't like me.
No, I think it's probably big for a 12-year-old.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
My guess.
Sure, was it a 15-year-old that talked her way out of having sex with you?
Yeah.
Your harg was bigger than her dad's?
What a weird story. What a weird story to tell. That's the thing that I pick up on whenever I check in on Chris D'Elia. He's always saying shit that if I was accused of running a sex cult, I would avoid these topics. If I didn't want people to think that I'm a sex pest, I would avoid a lot of these topics. He goes right for them for some reason.
Does he feel pressure too because it's Adam 22?
Probably.
Definitely.
Maybe.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Lucy,
Like,
what
this
did you
is
check
Because
out?
I'd go in the other direction, actually.
Yeah, right.
Not bring it up at all.
Oh my God, this would be me. I'd be like, so you skateboard?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. What's this deck?
You guys know who Stuttering John is?
You guys know who's stuttering. Every interview I'm ever on for the rest of my life. So you guys know about this Stuttering John fella? Or?
Do your impression.
That's funny. Lucy, what'd you pick up on?
Back over to Chris D'Elia's Congratulations podcast. I checked out episode 357, which was The Wet Spot.
Okay.
And, you were talking about your...
I gotta tell Chrissy Mayer about that. Cease and desist.
I know, right? You were talking about how your episode was the breakthrough. You would think that every episode would reference, the most exciting highlight of the episode in its title.
Yeah, right.
So in this episode, Chris sat in a puddle of water, and it's going to be clip 7.
Okay.
Then I go sit down in water, of course, because that's just what happens. I sat down on a wet spot because it was the time for that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to. I didn't know there was a wet spot. If I knew it was there, I wouldn't have sat there. But it was my time in the night and in my life to sit on a wet spot and be annoyed for the rest of the night because I had a wet ass. Right? It was just, I didn't even get mad at it. I sat in the wet spot, and in my head, I just go, that's the game. And I sit down, I go, charge it to the game. That is yes, that's how it goes. The cookie crumbles that way. Great. Fine. I'm in the wet spot because I ain't moving. I'm Desiree at this point.
I wish you'd move it along.
Moving.
Move it along to another. So that wasn't the most exciting thing he talked about on this episode?
Shocking, I know. What's even worse is this episode came out right after New Year's Eve. So this is what he did on New Year's Eve. So this is the most exciting part of his New Year's Eve, which I guess maybe makes sense with his 4, hobbies.
Right.
You also mentioned that he had this conversation with a fan. And so in my clip 1, we are going to check out how he summarizes that interaction with a fan.
Are you taking boring pills?
Which is something that I feel like after watching and listening to him. But that literally is how he is describing his fans.
That's fun. So he didn't say it to their face. He's on their show.
I mean, he just told it to whoever listens to him.
Okay.
Everybody who listens to him.
So this from the guy that just told a story about sitting in on a wet chair.
Oh, no, he thinks he's enthralling. That's what's so crazy about this asshole, is he makes these weird faces, and he does a lot of, I think this is where Patrick Michael gets it from. Because he does a lot of these like quirky little faces at the camera. You're supposed to be like, whoa.
Oh. Can I interrupt since you're bringing that up?
Of course.
Because since he brought up Sean Evans and how he was on Hot Ones, I went and checked that out.
Okay.
And Hot Ones clip 1, this is how that starts. Typical Chris.
Ridiculous, right? Yeah, that's not cool. My asshole just went like this.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? For First We Feast, I'm Sean Evans, and you're watching Hot Ones. It's the show with hot questions and even hotter wings. Today, I'm joined by Chris D'Elia. He's got the Netflix special, Incorrigible, and then it's a busy summer. Coming to a town near you. Yeah.
So my asshole rolled his eyes. I make a silly face as a joke, and then cut to me standing like a jerk off. And, it's the same playbook for the last 15 years.
That is a weird photo to use as like, hey, I'll be in a town near you. It's like,
farting.
The pompous asshole is here, everyone. Get the kids. It's get some tickets for this.
Don't bring the kids.
Oh, yeah, no, actually, don't do that.
Do not bring
Never
the
mind.
kids.
I take that back. Lucy, I'm curious what this cannot be canceled.
Yes.
clip is.
Well, so of course, he says that being canceled has given him more power to be free and truthful, which I guess kind of contradicts the clip that Andy just played, but that's kind of what he's describing in clip 2.
I say things that I truly feel and believe, and it's the reason why I can do that now is because I'm free. I can't be canceled, right? And that's a beautiful thing because I faced that fire and I can say whatever I want. So I do. I'm being authentic and 100% me. And because of that, I say whatever the fuck I want.
It's not true. We just saw him talking about how he puts on an act for the show and he's a different person on there. But also, you can tell he's guarded.
Also,
Yeah, he's being vague about things.
Yeah, all the time.
I faced that fire. What fire are you talking about?
if you're going to say whatever the fuck you want, shouldn't you say more funny stuff if you're a comedian?
Well, that would be where I'd start.
That's just what I feel like I would do. So in clip 6, we're going to see what Chris has done with this newfound freedom.
Okay.
Is he going to take a hard stance on Israel and Palestine?
Yeah, right. You can say whatever he wants at this point. Why not?
Right.
Is he going to start working on the next season of To Catch a Predator?
If he shows off his Hamas tattoo, I'm going to fucking lose it.
Chris, have a seat.
Yeah.
Have a seat.
Dude, I know that sometimes I talk about being a dad too much, but it is full on the greatest thing, dude. It's full on the greatest thing. You know how they say try to get to a point where where what you love becomes your job and get paid for that? I did that with stand-up comedy. Bro, now I need to get paid for being a dad.
Does he have a daughter?
I think he has 2 sons because he talks about them all the time. There was one episode where he had his son on his lap and was just saying, I mean, it's horrible. It's unwatchable. But he's one of these dads who just thinks that like their kid's the funniest kid. Can you believe he said that? Like, yeah, he's 4. Yeah. That's what 4-year-olds do.
I bet he's funnier than him.
He makes videos with his son and all this shit. So before we get too far away from him, can't be canceled, and he's already been canceled. He did an interview with Softboy Underbelly about 3 months ago, and the first 36 minutes of it are fluffy nonsense. Oh, how'd you get into comedy? All that kind of shit. And then we finally get to the real crux of the matter in this interview here.
But what's been the roughest thing you've had to deal with in your life?
In my life, the roughest thing I've had to deal with was being canceled and my life blowing up.
So already he's taking no responsibility. He's the victim. This happened to him. He didn't make this happen. This just happened to him. Okay, let's get his explanation on this.
100%. It was the hardest thing I've had to deal with.
You poor thing. Also, this is straight out of his acting reel right here.
Yeah.
He's not being real at all here.
I would say. Yeah.
That's got to be terrible. Being in the public eye.
Yeah,
and
it's
being singled out like that.
It's the. Yeah, it's.
Yeah, you're being singled out. Like all these people run sex cults, and they got to just point their fingers at you. What the fuck?
This is giving me Dan Schneider vibes. You might as well just be sitting across from that Boogie guy getting interviewed right now. It's exactly.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Boogie, but let me just explain that.
It's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's funny because there's never a.
This was a time when a lot of guys were being picked on, right?
Taken down, yeah.
Taken down.
Yeah, they're all the rapists in Hollywood. It was
just in the
crazy.
zeitgeist. Everybody was doing it.
This guy's goading him into playing the victim a little.
Oh
harder,
yeah,
which
for
I really
sure.
enjoy.
I like that too. That must have been really tough on you, right? Yeah, actually it was. Thank you.
You want a tissue?
The biggest clue that it's produced is his hair is combed. His hair has never looked that good ever.
He had court earlier that day.
It's not It's always weird. It's always interesting talking about it because I still feel like there's no real right way to talk about it without people just, being angry at all sides of it.
All sides of it? Angry at all sides of it? What are you talking about? What are the two sides of
Well,
this?
I was mad at the girls.
You were mad at the girls?
Yeah.
I mean, he is, obviously.
I was mad at the girls for coming forward. That was the side that I was mad at.
Yeah.
Both sides have
You know what
a
I'm saying?
stand on it.
Well, the truth is, people lie.
People lie, yeah.
And it's, whatever the media makes something out to be is not the truth. It's just not, no matter what way it's going.
These women had the receipts.
I was going to say, you said there were receipts.
Yes. I mean, you guys have seen the documentary. We've all seen it where you hear the voicemails or she's showing the text messages. He moved them out to a house to be his sex slave. Multiple women. He wouldn't let them leave their house, even though they were 2,000 miles away from him without his permission. He's a weird control freak.
Was it a nice house?
No.
Oh, God. What a prick.
It probably's all right.
It's just...
But then he's blaming the victims. This is crazy. This takes some balls right here, I got to say. Like, yeah, these women who showed the, text messages and had my voicemail saying I was going to off myself if they didn't do what I told them to do. Yeah. They're liars.
Okay. And when you're someone that is in the media, good or bad, you see that. But I think the common person doesn't. And it's really wild. It's really wild.
Yeah, just us dummies are just taking it at face value and just believing all these different people who all came out with the same story. So this is where things get good because you got to admit something happened, right, Chris? This doesn't happen to just anyone. I wouldn't think.
You're not even thinking, you're feeling,
Look at this acting.
It's
William Shatner sitting there going, this guy's being a cornball right now.
never as bad as you think it is when it happens, whatever that thing is, My son falls down, hits his knee. He's crying, and I know it's okay, and he doesn't because he's never hit his knee before.
You're comparing a child hitting his knee to you running a sex cult?
Also, he started out looking at the camera, and the worse this gets, the more he looks away from it.
Yeah, you notice that?
Yeah.
Wonder if there's answers on the ceiling.
And I always tell him, like, buddy, it's all right. The worst part's over, And you think, if I'm honest, you think, okay.
Did you just come up with a parody song idea? I can tell that he's reeling, but there's answers on the ceiling.
Oh, just cross it.
No, it's fine.
That's the crux of it, like you said.
I tried to tell those girls. I mean, my son didn't even cry this much. It's like,
yeah, get over it.
Took it out of your mouth. Just settle down.
Something that I would always go back to, no matter how hard it was. During that time, I would say, like, everything's okay because no matter what, I can end my life and not feel this.
Okay. So now Chris, this is a channel with over 5 million subscribers. So now Chris is trying to manipulate all the viewers the way he did those women.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know what? You guys think I'm a bad guy just because I'm raping girls and taking advantage of underage girls and my fans? Then I'll just unalive myself. Yeah. You'll have one less Chris D'Elia to kick around. Dude, we're not falling for that for a second.
I know.
You're a narcissist. You would never you never even think of doing that. You love yourself.
Do you think I'd be upset about that if I heard that you weren't around anymore? Probably
yeah. And no one would care. You don't think that Eric Griffin can find some other fucking idiot to sit in that chair and make voices?
Right? And I would constantly think of that. Like, all good. Everything's fine. You can always end your life.
Wow.
It got that bad for you.
Yeah.
Oh my God. He's victim blaming like a motherfucker. Wow.
I think about that when I have to mow the lawn. I'm just like, hey, it's an option. I'm weighing all of my options.
Should I kill that spider or just end it all? I don't want to deal with it.
You really hate mowing the lawn.
Was there some truth in the allegations?
Yeah. Was there?
I was a womanizer.
Okay.
And
Elaborate.
that's the truth.
Yeah, that's all.
So am I, and big difference.
No, I mean, what I was canceled for was not the truth.
Oh, okay. You just realizing it. Was there truth in it? Well, yeah. I mean, I've no.
My truth.
There actually wasn't any truth in it at all.
But it doesn't matter. That's just perception is kind of a lot of people.
Perception is kind of a lot of people. I think perception is reality. Is
that famous quote?
What you were going for there? All right.
I was out there having sex all the time.
Said the innocent man.
With people I barely knew, and that's, I realize how that can get.
I barely knew how old they were.
So like I was asking for IDs.
So how do you, if you don't know them, you don't know what they're like and what
their lawyers are like.
No, this is honestly. So what he's saying now is that these are all liars, and the only mistake he made was sleeping with liars who wanted to then take him down.
It does suck,
and this does happen. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. There are star fuckers out there. Trevor Bauer's going through some shit. We found out that there are women out there who target guys and celebrities, people with money. But it doesn't happen this many times. There can't be this many victims with the same story and that they're all making it up.
Living together.
Yes, right. Yeah, another good point. In my opinion, that's not how it would happen. So this is a fun little clip from this most recent episode where the sex addict talks about how finally he remembers his first hand job. These are the types of things that I would avoid. If I were Chris, I wouldn't talk about this.
Like the first time you get a hand job or something. But I guess, it's like, it's pretty bonkers when you're young, when you get your first HJ, right? Pretty bonkers. What? Dude, I remember thinking, no. Are you serious? I remember that's what all the guys, when they first HJ, and I'm talking HJ, I don't even mean BJ.
Yeah, no, we're following.
Yeah, I remember who it was. I remember what couch I was on, whose house I was at, and I go,
who forgets?
Oh no!
What? Why would you be so surprised unless you had never masturbated before?
Right. So this is a weird thing, the way that he's portraying this, because then he goes into this comparison to watching an episode of Dateline. He goes, getting your first hand job is like when you watch Dateline, and they try to convince you that it's the one guy, but then you find out it's actually a different person. And I've gotten a first-hand job, and this makes zero sense to me.
And the last one.
I don't know.
I think he meant.
And for a guy who can say anything the fuck he wants, he has to say HJ.
Yeah,
I know.
He's watching.
Does that mean Howard Johnson's
date rape line?
So, yeah. So this is his Dateline comparison. This was not for a while. I tried to cut it down a little bit here.
It's an hour Dateline, but 15 minutes in, they're like trying to say it's this guy, and you're like, wait a minute, there's still 40 minutes left. Maybe it's not him. Like that's the, oh, are you serious?
So at first I was thinking that he completed very quickly.
Oh, that's what I thought too.
But that's not even what he's saying.
Oh, okay.
That's what's so confusing about this.
What is he saying?
If someone says, well, it's only been 15 minutes, there's 45 minutes left. Oh, wait, are you serious? That's the first feeling of the first HJ you get.
Makes no sense. Horrible analogy.
Or a horrible HJ.
Surprised?
Yeah, there was like some weird surprise that he wasn't ready for.
It was a twist ending.
Yeah.
Makes him turn into Edith Bunker.
Ending. Very possible. All right, what else did you guys pick up on this show?
I feel like he's losing it all the time. So half the time is unable to start or finish any story. So we'll check that out in clip 3.
Say it.
He's trying.
I am getting old though because I fucking ate. No, not ate. I was. God, this is actually so embarrassing. Whatever. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, I think he should start remembering things, like how to podcast and the age of consent and all of those sorts of things would be valuable for him.
And let's give a tip to Chris. Doing a podcast by yourself when you have done zero prep, you don't know what you're going to talk about, it's difficult. But the I am getting old because is not a good way to start a thought. No one's interested in that bullshit.
So he does.
Especially women.
he does try to enlist some help because, again, he's not doing great by himself. So at one point in clip 5, he is apparently just reading notes that he took for the show, and even he has no idea what he's talking about.
What does this mean? Sometimes I write shit down. I've got no idea. Poo-poo with the scent thing in my eye. Babe, what does that mean? Do you know? Do you know? Poo-poo with the scent thing in my eye. Poo-poo? With the scent thing in my eye? Scent thing? Like smelling? Scent?
He sprayed.
How did you spell it?
Potpourri in his own face.
I don't know.
Yeah, so he literally is bothering his wife with this bullshit because he
She's like,
can't.
how the fuck would I know what you wrote down on your stupid computer? I just thought you were sexing with girls. I didn't know you were writing notes for your show.
That's your new rap song, honey.
Oh, God. Why is he so bad at this?
So lazy.
That's so
what
lazy.
pisses me off the most.
Yes,
You
for
know,
sure.
There are times, though, in clip 9 where I feel like he has developed some self-awareness.
Okay.
I can't believe how crazy I am.
About underage pussy.
Just crazy for it.
But in clip 8, I remember that he hasn't actually developed any self-awareness.
Hey, dude, I'm not a dick.
He kind of is.
We got some good ISOs. I found the best ISO ever. This can be used all the time.
Why are they acting like this is funny?
Good question, Chris. I'm not sure. And then this is a weird one. I think he catches himself being racist after this clip, but listen to what he says here. This is a weird thing to say.
Dude.
At a zoo in Mexico, a daydreaming worker sweeps out the
By the way,
pen.
A zoo in Mexico is crazy. You know what I mean? Like, imagine a zoo in Mexico. You know what it is? It's kind of just Mexico.
But not every.
It's like, why would you need a zoo? Yeah. Mexico's already full of filthy animals. Jesus.
Remember
crazy.
when Trump had all those kids in the cages? That's what I picture.
That's a Mexican zoo.
He's
there
finally doing it, though. At least he's saying things that are stupid because he's already been canceled, so he's got nothing to lose.
Well, yeah, there you go. That's the kind of stuff you should be talking about.
Yeah, I'll
How much
tune
you
in
hate
a lot more often.
Yeah, if Chris was like, I hate Mexicans instead of congratulations, I'm listening to that show. All right, what's your take? I mean, I have some friends, but I can be persuaded. I don't know. What do you think's going on? And then the other thing that Chris does is he's so childish. And I know he thinks he's trying to be funny and interesting. He literally said in the other thing, like, oh, normal people are boring. They're not like us comics. They're so funny all the time. But this is like what a child would do trying to be interesting. He's talking about, we played the clip on the teaser last time where he was talking about baseball players and Barry Bonds hit a home run when he went to a Dodgers game. It's so stupid. I don't even have the clip. The story's so stupid. I think they were playing on Blind Mike Project this week. Because he's sitting there behind the on deck circle and yelling, Barry, you going to hit a home run? And Barry turns around and nods like, yeah, I am. And then he did. And so Chris acts like, can you believe he called his shot? It's like, oh no, he's a confident baseball player, hit 73 in 1 year. He thinks every at bat he might.
And what are you going to say?
Yeah, right. I mean, no, probably not. This guy's got some heat. Yeah, right, exactly. So stupid. So he's just like, can you believe that? I can't believe they didn't make the papers that this would happen. So he's talking about baseball and he's an idiot. So then after talking about how like all baseball players should use steroids because it's so cool and so much more fun, he says this.
They should add like Komodo dragons and like just straight up elephants in the field. That would be man, I know there'll be a lot of activists up in arms, but could you imagine the game if they just added Komodo dragons and one elephant in the field at all times? Long fly ball deep to center. Oh shit! The Komodo dragon just ate. All right, the Komodo dragon's on his. All right, so it's off. It's off his leg. Okay, he's got to go to the hospital because if the bite goes untreated, it's not. They don't have poison in them, but he will. It will get decrepit and it will start decaying, and they will at least have to amputate the leg, or there could be death. So let's wish him well. Anyway, swing and a miss.
I don't think that the swing and the miss was for the bit he just did. I think he was going back to the baseball announcer thing.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
But it worked out perfectly where he said that.
Swing and a miss.
So I always make fun of Chris for starting a premise and then elaborating on it. The very first time we ever made fun of Chris D'Elia, when he's going, Family Guy, dude, Family Guy, so funny, dude. And I'm like, well, give me an example. What's a joke you heard? Or what's a scene that was interesting? He never does. So finally he goes, it'd be great if there's Komodo dragons and elephants on the field. And then he tries to act out what would happen, and he had no clue where he was going.
Well, that's why every punchline is just like, and I bet the Komodo dragon made a face like this. Yeah. The alternative is what we just saw.
Well, right, because then he gets into elephants, and this is his hot take on that.
Elephants are crazy dangerous because they're so big, dude. I bet if they were small, they wouldn't be that. You know, that's the thing. It's like you get trampled on.
It's like an animal expert or something. It's unbelievable, his depth of knowledge.
Elephants are big, guys.
Just when I thought, like, what do you know about elephants? And I was like, oh, okay, I stay corrected. I thought you were going to come up with facts. Pretty good stuff. This is just because OJ passed away recently. I don't know if you guys heard about OJ Simpson. He died of cancer.
Yeah. You don't say.
So he watches this OJ video. It was an interview that OJ did after the murders of his wife and the waiter. And he has the worst takes on everything. He literally has both takes that you could possibly have on this.
After we finished filming, OJ said to me that he had a surprise for me, and I genuinely was surprised. I think it was his idea of a joke, and this is it.
So OJ stabbing at her.
That's so out there. I mean, that is so bonkers. You know, that's a bonkers thing to do, but I would have been way crazier. I don't understand how he's not that crazy.
So which is it? So can you believe how crazy that is? A guy who everyone thinks murdered his wife is making jokes about it? I mean, I would have gotten way crazier than that.
Yeah. I would have actually murdered the reporter.
Yeah, right.
That was Patrick Michael-esque.
No, I know. I wrote down, it's funny you say that. I wrote down in my notes, like, who's watching the show? They must be brain dead. Yeah. If they're watching that and going, oh, that's a funny take. Like, no, he just had both the takes, but like a Patrick Michael kind of guy would be like, yeah, this is funny. This is pretty good stuff. Oh, and then after this, I won't play the clip, but after this, Chris D'Elia plays videos of when the verdict was read for O.J. Simpson. There were certain people who were happy about it and certain people who weren't that happy about it. Chris had no idea this happened. He's like, oh my gosh, dude, I never seen this before. Black people are celebrating? You didn't know that, Chris? You don't remember that part? Okay. I mean, there was that Chris Rock bit. It's pretty famous. I don't know. Seems like you should have known that one, Chris, being a comic and all. All right. What else did you guys pick up on? Anything else just to tie a bow on this segment?
Sure. I got a good. Well, do you have anything else? Okay. Because when I was looking at No Jumper, also suggested was Matt and Shane's take on Chris D'Elia.
Oh, so he's not on the show. I saw that you said over Matt and Shane class. I was like, sweet.
Yeah.
He's not on the show.
No, okay, it's just them talking about it, but it was kind of a fun perspective to hear these two talking about it.
They're always good.
So we can just jump right into clip one.
The indefensible ones are just like, how old are you again? Well, I just think you can't tell young chicks they're cute, man. It's like, it's weird.
As hard as it is.
Or lament the fact you can't lament a chick's age via text. It's like,
and then I'm sitting there, and I'm like, damn, dude, I better not get fucking popped on any of these.
Like what?
Because they immediately put up a clip of him being like, 14-year-olds are not 14 anymore. They're 35. They're hot.
I saw that.
It's like, oh.
I saw that.
It's a pretty good impression, actually.
That's what I mean, though, about Chris. He can't help himself. He says this shit. It's just like, don't mention that.
Yeah.
It's a bad idea. But it's similar to like Bill Cosby when people found that famous Spanish fly from the 70s thing. You're just like, can you believe you give the chick the thing and then they can't stop you from doing the stuff that they don't want you to do? You're like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Guess he's just hiding in plain sight, these fucking assholes.
I got to apologize because whoever put this clip package together was using like all of the special effects in their new software. It's fucking, it's a podcast. Yeah. It's not a fireworks display.
Right.
So it's a little annoying.
It's too much.
But Shane wants to let us know that he was on to D'Elia from the start.
You know, with like the D'Elia shit, it's just like, he's going for young, bro. He was going for young. And the problem is, I'm not trying to like slam the dude. It's like, you know, all of his friends are like, look, I had no idea. It's like, all right, do I buy it? No. But it's like, you know, I don't know. I've watched everyone's reaction to that. Like, I just want to state for the record, I did not know he was fucking young chicks. I know he liked chicks. I didn't know they were young.
Yeah, it's like I knew he was fucking young chicks by looking at his ripped jeans. What are you talking about? He's 40 with ripped jeans. Get him out of here.
True.
It's a great take.
Yeah.
But that is true. Like, all of his friends came out and were just like, geez, I saw the doc or I saw the Rolling Stone article and I had no idea. It's like,
yeah, Brian Callen. Yeah. Brendan Schaub and Brian Callen are crying on their podcast.
That's right. I forgot about that.
I can't
And
believe
then you
it.
find out that your friend really likes like young pussy that's tight and delicious, and you just can't believe it.
Won't share.
Yeah, you might have. I don't know.
All right, last one. Matt's going to add some perspective that we maybe haven't considered.
He was making comedy to get sniz.
Yeah.
So his comedy was it was pop.
Mm-hmm.
It was gay.
True. And he got the Bieber bump.
Yes.
So his fans, Bieber was his favorite comedian. And then Bieber bequeathed him a nation of very borderline fans.
Look,
I don't
never
know.
mind. There's nothing to say on that.
That's funny.
But I was just like, wow, maybe that's true. You know, if it wasn't for Justin Bieber, then all this underage puss attention wouldn't be on Chris D'Elia tempting him all the time. So it's Justin Bieber's fault.
I was going to blame Justin Bieber. I didn't even know why, but I knew I was mad at Justin Bieber. I thought it was his fault. I'm glad that you solidified it.
Yeah, it's one more thing to be mad at him about.
Good. All right. Now I feel justified in that feeling.
I'm a little confused. We're not still blaming the young girls.
Oh, Jesus. I forgot who to blame. The victims. That's right. My bad. What show am I on again?
Who are these podcasts?